Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we'll chat with Rich Fernandez, president of Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, Milton, about their new clinic that'll be opening in Quincy Center this Wednesday. First, though, we check the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, cloudy out there, 52 degrees. That's pretty much the story. Lots of clouds, cool today, maybe a spot shower. Highs only into the mid-50s. Be a cool night tonight with clouds low around 51 degrees. A little better tomorrow with some sunshine later in the day. Highs tomorrow up into the mid-50s. Mostly cloudy here Wednesday, still cool, mid-50s, and showers Thursday afternoon with highs again in the mid-50s. In that news today, the Quincy City Council considering a request from the administration to spend $5 million from the Community Preservation Fund to purchase the former Beachcomber nightclub on Quincy Shore Drive and a vacant 3-acre parcel of land on Harriet Avenue in Montclair. Quincy Ward 5 City Councilor Chuck Phelan says it's a rare opportunity to preserve open space in the city.
We have a great opportunity to take these pieces, which are environmentally sensitive, and turn them into open space and something that can be used by the neighborhood and used by everyone in there. I mentioned that Wollaston Beach is used by pretty much everyone in the city. And I think this is an area where when you have a chance to get open land, you're not going to have much of a chance to do that. And that would preserve this land and put it into a passive park where people could enjoy the views of the beach, the views of Boston and all that. And it returns it to the public domain, which I think is where it belongs.
Now, the city would create a passive park at the former Beachcomber location and keep the Harriet Avenue site as open space. Mayor Thomas Koch says previous proposals for developments at both of those locations were too large and would create flooding issues. Quincy Health Commissioner Ruth Jones says now is not the time to let our guard down when it comes to controlling the spread of COVID-19. During an update to the City Council last week, Jones reported that the pandemic is now hitting the community as a whole harder than it is in nursing homes.
I think part of why we see more kids is, yes, kids are out more. I think, obviously you bring kids, more people into an enclosed environment. You expect to see an uptick in cases, and hopefully that uptick isn't huge, and that's what we're watching. I think also what we've seen, unfortunately, and it's not just us, I think it's throughout the country, we've seen people that are tired of doing this and have let their guard down. When our cases went down to 2 or 3 cases a day, and we weren't getting a lot of numbers with our averages, and we were in the green, I think people got to be very comfortable and let their guard down. And I think we see now more community spread where people aren't wearing masks. People are getting together with gatherings. The holidays, we would always see a spike after the holidays. We're concerned about holidays coming up with Thanksgiving and Christmas and people getting together, and what kind of spike in cases that's going to be. Also concerned that it's getting colder. We're inside more. All those things may change the numbers.
Jones also reported that the virus is not spreading in the Quincy Public Schools. She says there have been 13 cases of the virus among students, but the majority of those were remote learners who contracted the virus outside of the school system. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch has officially canceled this year's Quincy Christmas Parade. The mayor says it's just not possible to safely hold the event that draws tens of thousands of spectators every year due to the pandemic. The annual Santa parachute jump into Pageant Field and lighting ceremony in Quincy Center have also been canceled, although the mayor says Quincy Center will still be decorated for the holidays. The 68th annual parade would have been held on November 29th. City of Quincy has the second largest Filipino American population in Massachusetts outside of Boston. Last week, the City Council officially recognized October as Filipino American Heritage Month. Quincy residents Diana Quintos and Phil J. Solar from the state's Asian American Commission said Filipino Americans are proud to call Quincy home.
First of all, my dad, he moved here from the Philippines back late 70s, and I was born here in Quincy, Massachusetts. So Quincy has been my home, and my family is actually a military family. So my kids have actually moved around quite a bit, and we chose Quincy to be the place to live after my husband got out, and we're raising our family here. So we're back here in Quincy, and Quincy's great. And it just would really mean a lot to have our Filipino heritage represented here in the city.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for your family service as well. We're really excited to have you here. Phil J, did you want to say a few words?
Yeah, sure, of course. Well, first and foremost, thank you, Quincy City Council, for hearing this proposal, especially fellow Commissioner President Liang for hearing me out. The Filipino community has a special place in my heart because I am Filipino descent. As similar to Ms. Quinto's story, my parents also immigrated here, not in Quincy, but in Dedham, and they got here because my dad joined the Coast Guard, and my mother's been a nurse for the VA hospital for almost 40 years. As Diana mentioned, she is a resident of Quincy. Filipinos have lived in Quincy for a long time. Not particularly why they picked Quincy, but they decided to settle here. And over the years, it's, as you've mentioned, it's become the second largest Filipino population. When people come to Massachusetts and they ask me like, where's the Filipino community? I always say Quincy and Boston because we just don't know why Filipinos have decided to make Quincy their home, but it has a lot of history in itself for Filipino Americans here in Massachusetts. They have a countrywide known Filipino restaurant, J&J Turo Turo, neighboring by a Filipino-specific market, Shore Punoy, which many Filipino residents have across the Commonwealth have consistently come to shop to, just to get a taste of home. Even myself, I come there at least once or twice a month. And then in the past, Philippine Archdiocese of Massachusetts they used to have a specific Filipino service hosted at St. John's, and now we have an annual picnic/gathering at the Marymount Park. So it's Filipino roots have been in Quincy for a really long time, and as a commissioner, I felt a responsibility to make sure their elected officials, the city council, takes that step to recognize how diverse their city is, particularly the Filipino community that has developed there. So that I thank you all for taking the time to propose this.
Quincy City Council President Nina Liang is also a member of the state's Asian American Commission and arranged for that city council recognition. Father Bills and Mainspring homeless shelters of Quincy and Brockton very thankful for a donation of over $67,000 from the Jack Conway Real Estate Company. Those funds were raised during Conway's 36th annual golf tournament held recently at the Easton Country Club. 128 golfers participated in the event that was held with COVID-19 restrictions in place. Instead of an auction, raffle, and luncheon, the funds were raised online and through the mail. By the Bills and Mainspring President John Yazwinski said that donation was especially meaningful during these extremely challenging times due to the pandemic. Coming up, Rich Fernandez, president of Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital Milton, will speak about their new location in Quincy Center. That's next.
Hi, I'm State Representative Bruce Ayers. During this upcoming election, in an effort to help our seniors, veterans, and the disabled vote on Election Day, I will be providing free wheelchair transportation both to and from the polls in wheelchair-accessible vans. I understand the challenges that wheelchair users face and want to help. The vans that we are using are equipped with wheelchair lifts and restraint systems for residents needing such assistance. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you're confined to a wheelchair and would like to vote in this upcoming election, please contact me to schedule an appointment for a ride at 617-328-0102. Your vote counts. If you're a senior, veteran, disabled, and need a ride in a wheelchair-accessible van, please contact me, Bruce Ayers, at 617-328-0102 to cast your vote on Election Day.
The program, Rich Fernandez, the president and CEO of BID Milton, to give us a little update on what's happening during this pandemic, and also about their new center about to open here in Quincy. Nice to see you again, Rich.
Yes, nice to see you, Joe. Thanks for having me.
No, it's our pleasure. I know last time we chatted, I said I hope we could do it in person next time. Unfortunately, we're unable, but I'm glad we have at least this option to chat.
Yes, definitely. Challenging times, but I think, we're learning to live with it, and the Boston healthcare system and the citizens of Massachusetts have been doing a great job. We're in steady recovery, I think, on many fronts. So it's as good as can be expected, I think, here at the end of October.
Yeah, no, last time we chatted, it was really, things were very difficult. There was a lot of restrictions in visiting the hospital in Milton. I think you were solely, exclusively a COVID treatment center. What's the status now?
Yeah, so things, since the when you look at the Massachusetts stats, since the end of May, things have definitely been sliding down. The governor allowed hospitals in early June, and then a little bit more flexibility in early July. But ever since then, Joe, I just say March and April were things, it's kind of like that picture in my background there, stormy seas, stuff that you don't ever want to encounter again. But our team, like I said back then, just did an amazing job of adapting, innovating, staying safe. I think that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, is we were able to keep our doctors, our staff safe so that we could care for patients. But since the governor allowed us to start doing elective services, Joe, we've actually been doing really, really well. I think our providers, our staff feel safe, and that trust and connection with their patients. Since July, real quickly, by the end of July, we were almost back to normal in almost every category, except for emergency department visits have lagged across the state, and we're still probably maybe just a little bit behind. But everything else, surgery, cancer screening, mammography, specialty visits, things and care people need, people are coming to BID Milton. So we're really thankful and really proud of the work our staff and providers have done.
Yeah. Do you have any COVID patients at Milton?
We've had less than 5 patients, more like typically 2 for the last 4 months. So it hasn't, again, cases are up there. You can see it in the paper, but people aren't requiring hospitalizations, which is terrific. That's a number of factors, right? It's impacting younger folks. We've gotten a little bit better. I think our at-risk patients are still doing the right thing, wearing masks, not socially distancing, washing their hands. Testing has gotten tremendously better here in the BILH system, but across the state. And that helps. As I tell people, we can actually see the sparks now in the forest fire, and we can quickly dampen them. So we're in a much different place, Joe. We can't let our guard down, but as a healthcare leader and hospital president, I really feel like we're in a different place, and we're much better prepared to manage this. So sometimes you have to go through some rough times to get prepared for a 100-year pandemic.
Yeah, I actually have a friend who visited his primary care physician at BID Milton just this week and mentioned to me that there is a COVID drive-through testing facility. Is that for the...
Yep, and actually we're winterizing it right now. We're converting it to be fully accessible through the winter, snow, cold, and whatever. But we've been treating hundreds of patients, either patients of ours getting surgery or endoscopy, or people in the community that are symptomatic or their PCP thinks they need a test. They can come by here. I think soon, we probably in the early part of next year, we're kind of in the planning phase and kind of on back order with kind of more rapid tests. We'll be able to do a much broader population in the community, but we will let you and the rest of this community know as soon as we can do that. But we're doing hundreds of tests a day right through our drive-through, quick 5-minute nose swab, boom, get the results back, anywhere from 2 to 5 days if you're not a hospitalized patient. So whole new business line for us.
Yeah, I'm sure. And probably was something that you will bring to new Quincy Center eventually. I remember when we talked at the outbreak of the pandemic, I had asked you, do you still feel confident you'll be able to open the new Quincy facility? And lo and behold, the answer is yes.
Yep. Our construction crews, our internal team have just been working phenomenally since that kind of early June. We actually worked with our construction site to actually move the construction timeline, working weekends to make sure we could get this open up in October. So we're super excited about our new site. And I say COVID put a lot of things on the sideline, but we were not going to let it slow this project down. So we're really excited about it. It opens, I can tell you a little bit more about it. We opened October 28th. That's a week from today. So super excited. It will be urgent care, primary care, and specialty care. So our urgent care is staffed by our emergency physicians and trained people. So if it's not a life-threatening emergency, I really suggest for the people of Quincy to give our urgent care a try. If we can't treat them there, or they need a higher level of care, we will fast track them right to our emergency department. So really excited about that. And there's actually a hometown story that I'm sure we'll tell, but one of our new primary care doctors is actually from the city of Quincy, Dr. Chung. She speaks Cantonese and is starting there right in the beginning of November. So we're super excited that we'll have 2 primary care there who are open panels and are ready to serve the people of Quincy and in this region. And then from a specialty perspective, we'll have both surgical specialties. We'll have a new both non-operative and operative orthopedic surgeon working there. He's affiliated with the BID system. So the lumps and bumps weekend warriors, if they need to see our urgent care or get a primary care visit or orthopedics, we really view this as providing comprehensive care in the community right where people live and work. So we're really excited about this site.
Yeah, for folks who are not familiar, if you could tell us a little bit about where it's located, how it's accessed, and what will be happening at that facility. And while you're doing that, I have a photo to show folks of what it looks like.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, so it's 100 Walter Hannon Parkway, right outside of all the development in downtown Quincy. There, we have the entire first floor. Like I said, it'll be urgent care, primary care, and specialty. We will have imaging, so radiology, and a full service lab. So if it's more convenient to get your x-ray at the Quincy site or get your labs instead of coming to the hospital, you'll be able to do that. It'll be open, and we'll modulate the hours depending on how busy it is, but it'll be open 9 to 7 Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we're really excited. There'll be parking here in the front, as you can see, and then there's also parking right in the back, both for patients and for staff. So we really feel like this is a good location. It's high visibility, whether they're coming from southern Quincy or from downtown. But I think the main thing is this is high acuity urgent care. We will do everything from flu shots to COVID tests to other things, but I want people to know that if they have a broken bone or non-life-threatening injury, this is probably a first good stop, because we will get you in and out of there a lot quicker than a typical emergency department visit.
Okay, and for folks who are not familiar, this is the former Quincy Career Center location, kind of right behind the Hancock Park Rehabilitation Center. So this is really in the heart of the city.
Exactly.
The center itself, Rich, now we shouldn't confuse it with an emergency room, correct? So there will not be ambulances coming and going, basically.
Yeah, there typically wouldn't be an ambulance, although we're working with the city and Brewster Ambulance and others to, for patients that aren't emergency level, are there opportunities? We're working, trying to think creatively with the state and others to say, are there avenues for appropriate patients to come to an emergency care? We do have some spots for ambulances, partly to either take them out of our place, or if we can work to bring appropriate patients there via ambulance. As you know, everybody who comes in an ambulance is in a life-threatening piece. But so we're excited about it. But it really will be comprehensive urgent care. You can come for your fever or your flu test or those things. And you can also come if you broke your collarbone or your legs hurting, or you had weekend pain. And then what we love about it is that if you don't have a primary care physician, we have primary care physicians right there. We can make a follow-up. If you need a follow-up with a specialist, which right now are primarily surgical specialties, but we fully intend to get other medical services in there, like possibly pulmonary and neurology and other services. We know the city of Quincy and the residents want convenient healthcare. So we have room to grow in that space as well.
The timing is really critical, as you're well aware. The emergency department at the former Quincy Medical Center is just about ready to close. So this is kind of picking up right where that leaves off.
Exactly, and that's what we've been focused on. The minute we heard that the Quincy Emergency Department was closing, we worked with our construction crews and our whole planning team to move the opening up, specifically to get a few days under our belt before the Quincy closure. But our focus is really about getting this site open, making sure it's the type of care that the city of Quincy residents want and need. So urgent care, primary care, and specialty care, I think we have a pretty good offering there. And I hope people, give it a try. And like I said, if the urgent care, if they need a higher level of care, we will get them either to our place or downtown, like we always would do. So,
pediatrics, Rich, will that be offered there as well?
So it's interesting. So so for urgent care, any age can come. For primary care, they're actually both family physicians. So yes, they'll be able to see kids to adults to grandparents. Any age is all welcome there.
Okay. Did you actually purchase the building, or are you leasing it?
We're leasing it. Yeah, we have a long-term lease there. And again, we built out probably 80% of it. We have a little sliver that we could expand, whether we need additional imaging, more primary care space, etc. So we're really excited. It's a great location, and I think obviously needed now with the Quincy ER closing even more.
Yes, exactly. For folks who would like to, learn more about it, or if their primary care physician is there or will be there, how do they do that?
Yep. So we will have it on our website, www.vidmilton.org. There'll be a separate link to the site. And I think one unique feature that people may really like, the urgent care, you'll actually be able to make an appointment if you choose to. You can just walk in, or you could make an electronic, appointment right on through our website to a direct link. So I know nobody likes to wait, and you'll wait less if you have an appointment. And then if you can't make an appointment or choose not to, or it's a little more urgent, obviously people can just walk in and we'll be happy to.
Okay. Excellent. Anything else that we should let folks know about right now?
No, just know it's Wednesday, October 28th. I know a lot is changing in Quincy, but it's great to have Beth Israel Lahey Health and VID Milton now have a presence here in the city. And I just like to thank you for having me. The city has been, and the mayor's office has been terrific to work with. And we're going to have a COVID-safe ribbon cutting. It's not going to be a big thing, but just some pictures, so people should keep their eyes out there. And I hope they give it a try.
Great. Really appreciate the opportunity, Rich, to talk to you and let folks know about this. Please reach out here at QATV if we can be of any more assistance to get information out to the community. We'll be happy to do it.
Great. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Checking the forecast for you once again for the remainder of the day today. Just lots of clouds, maybe a spot shower. Rather cool and raw with highs only in the mid-50s. Not cooling off that much tonight. Lows will drop off to the lower 50s. We'll see some breaks of sunshine tomorrow. Still pretty chilly, 55 for a high. Clouds return here on Wednesday, steady temperatures in the mid-50s and pretty damp around here, mostly Thursday afternoon with highs in the mid-50s. Thanks again to Rich Fernandez for joining us today from Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, Milton. Thank you to our crew, and thank you for watching. And a reminder, do please participate in the Quincy COVID Memories Project. You can share your experiences of life in Quincy during the pandemic. Go to quincyculturalmemory.com to send in your videos, your photos, or other entries, or you can mail them to the Thomas Crane Library. Attention Local History, 40 Washington Street, Quincy, 02169. And do visit our website too. Go to qatv.org. You'll find news and information, our latest programs, fall sports, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at Quincy Access Television, I'm Joe Catalano. Please stay safe.